She's celebrating her freedom with champagne and her new boyfriend, thinking she's outsmarted me, I said to my lawyer. But I've been planning for months, and tomorrow, she'll lose everything she thought was hers. Jack Turner's phone buzzed on his desk, shattering the quiet focus of his Boise office. He glanced at the screen, a notification from Instagram, where his daughter, Mia, had tagged him in a comment. His thumb hovered, then tapped. The post loaded, a photo of his wife, Vanessa, grinning with a champagne flute raised, her eyes hidden behind sunglasses. The caption hit like a sucker punch. Finally free. Divorce papers filed today. Jack's the one losing everything. Hashtag new beginnings, hashtag freedom. 43 likes. 11 laughing emojis. Comment from her influencer friends piled up. You go, girl. About time. He never deserved you. Jack set the phone down, his pulse steady, but his jaw tight. He wasn't shocked. Vanessa's late-night whispers and sudden gym obsession had hinted at this for months. But seeing her gloat publicly, mocking him as if he were oblivious, ignited a cold resolve. She thought she'd outsmarted him. She had no idea he'd been moving pieces on a chessboard she couldn't even see. At 45, Jack was a financial advisor known for precision, the kind of man who could spot a market crash in a spreadsheet's fine print. He built a comfortable life in Boise, Idaho, with a downtown condo, a vacation cabin by the Payette River, and a consulting firm pulling in six figures annually. Vanessa, 42, was the opposite. Charismatic, impulsive, always chasing the next spotlight as an event planner with a growing Instagram following. Jack had loved her energy once, but lately, it fueled her betrayal. He leaned back in his chair, replaying the moment that flipped the switch 6 months ago. It was a late November evening, rain pelting the windows, when he overheard Vanessa on the phone in their kitchen. Leo says we wait until after our anniversary, she'd whispered to her sister, Tara. Maximizes the settlement after 20 years. Jack's clueless, thinks it's just a rough patch. Leo, her personal trainer, had apparently graduated from fitness tips to legal advice. Jack had stayed silent, every word carving a deeper certainty. This wasn't a midlife crisis. It was a calculated ambush. That night, he'd called Rachel Torres, his college friend turned estate lawyer. Rachel's voice was sharp, no nonsense, even at midnight. Jack, you're not hypothetical me, are you? She'd asked. He laid out Vanessa's plan, every detail from her smug tone to her mention of documenting his assets. Rachel didn't hesitate. Time's your ally. We'll protect what's yours, legally, quietly, ruthlessly. Now, staring at Vanessa's post, Jack dialed Rachel again. She went public, he said, voice low. Posted it for the world to see. Rachel's laugh was dry. Bold move. Let's make sure it's her last. They've been working for months, restructuring Jack's life like a fortress. The cabin was already in a trust for Mia, their 19-year-old daughter. His consulting firm was now an LLC, with Jack as a salaried employee, not an owner. His savings? Tucked into a crypto wallet, untouchable by divorce courts. Vanessa thought she was hunting a fortune. Jack knew she'd find scraps. He stood grabbing his keys. Mia was at their condo, prepping for college applications, and he'd promised to help. Driving through Boise's evening traffic, he felt the weight of Vanessa's betrayal shift to determination. At home, Mia greeted him with a hug, her laptop open to scholarship essays. Dad, you okay? She asked, catching his expression. Just work, he lied, sitting beside her. He guided her through financial aid forms, his calm voice masking the storm inside. Mia's future was non-negotiable. He'd protect it, no matter what Vanessa planned. Later, alone in his study, Jack opened his laptop and logged into a private cloud drive. There, in encrypted files, was his counteroffensive. Bank statements, trust agreements, LLC documents, all time-stamped months before Vanessa's filing. He'd also recorded her calls with Tara, snippets of her scheming caught when she thought he was asleep. Every move was legal, every step deliberate. Vanessa's post had been her declaration of war. Jack was ready to win it. As he closed the laptop, his phone buzzed again. Another comment on Vanessa's post, this time from Leo, to new chapters, babe. Jack's grip tightened. Vanessa was playing checkers, flaunting her moves online. He was playing chess, and the board was already his. Jack Turner's phone vibrated as he parked outside a Boise diner, the kind of place where locals swapped stories over greasy burgers. It was a text from Rachel Torres. Lunch. Now. Gotta lead. He stepped inside, spotting Rachel in a corner booth, her laptop open and a coffee cooling beside her. She slid a tablet across the table, showing a screenshot of Vanessa's latest Instagram story. A selfie with Leo, her trainer, captioned, "Planning my future with someone who gets me. #winning." Jack's stomach twisted, but he nodded. She's doubling down. Rachel tapped the screen. Her sister, Tara, called my office this morning. Drunk, rambling, but she let slip Vanessa's been tracking your business accounts for a year. Think she's got you pinned. Jack leaned forward, his mind racing. Tara's instability was a wild card, but her loose lips were a gift. What else? He asked. Rachel's eyes gleamed. Vanessa's meeting her lawyer tomorrow to finalize demands. They're aiming for 60% of everything, plus alimony. Jack smirked. They're chasing a ghost. For months, Jack had been dismantling Vanessa's assumptions. His consulting firm, once a straightforward operation, was now Cascade Wealth LLC, with ownership tied to a trust he didn't control. The pay at River Cabin legally belonged to Mia, secured through a trust Vanessa couldn't touch. His personal savings, once in a joint account, were now in a crypto exchange converted to Bitcoin and Ethereum, locked behind keys only he held. Every move was backdated, filed before Vanessa's divorce papers, making them ironclad. Rachel pulled up a document. Here's the kicker. Tara mentioned Vanessa's been staging fights, recording you to claim emotional distress. Jack's jaw clenched. He remembered Vanessa's sudden outbursts, her phone always nearby, capturing his frustrated responses. She's building a case, Rachel said. But we're ahead. How about a forensic accountant auditing her claims? If she's faking evidence, we'll bury her. Jack nodded, his resolve hardening. What's next? We accelerate, Rachel replied. File a motion to freeze joint accounts. It'll spook her, make her think you're onto her. Jack agreed, signing the paperwork on the spot. As he drove home, his phone buzzed again. Vanessa, texting about needing to talk. He ignored it, knowing she was fishing for a reaction to fuel her narrative. Instead, he called Mia, who was at a college tour in Portland. Dad, you sound tense, she said. Just business, kiddo, he replied, keeping his tone light. Focus on those essays. That evening, Jack sat in his study, reviewing encrypted files. His journal, a digital log of Vanessa's scheming, grew daily. Timestamps of her calls with Leo, screenshots of her posts, even a recorded snippet where she bragged to Tara about bleeding Jack dry. He uploaded it to a secure server, then checked his crypto wallet, $300,000, safe from prying eyes. Vanessa thought she was hunting a fortune. Jack was ensuring she'd find nothing. The next morning, he spotted Vanessa's silver SUV outside a trendy Boise cafe, where she held court with her influencer friends. From across the street, Jack watched her laugh, gesturing wildly as she spun her tale of victory. Leo sat beside her, arm draped over her shoulder, nodding like a loyal soldier. Jack's phone pinged, a message from an unknown number. Check your mail. You've got family you don't know about. His pulse spiked. He'd done a DNA test months ago, a whim for Mia's genealogy project. Was this a scam or something else? At home, Jack found a manila envelope in his mailbox, postmarked from Portland. Inside was a letter from Ethan Reed, claiming to be his half-brother, confirmed by DNA results. Saw your wife's post online, Ethan wrote. Figured you could use an ally. Jack stared at the words, his mind split between Vanessa's betrayal and this new bombshell. He dialed Ethan's number. Jack Turner? A gruff voice answered. I'm not here for drama, but I know what it's like to be blindsided. You need me, I'm in. Jack hung up, his thoughts churning. Vanessa was escalating, but so was he. Rachel's motion to freeze accounts would hit the courthouse tomorrow, and Ethan's arrival added a new layer to his strategy. Vanessa thought she was writing the story's ending. Jack was about to rewrite the entire plot. Jack Turner's phone lit up with a courthouse alert as he pulled into his Boise driveway. Rachel's motion to freeze joint accounts had been approved. Vanessa would be served notice within hours, a move designed to rattle her confidence. He stepped inside, the weight of Ethan's letter still heavy in his pocket. His newly discovered half-brother's offer to help was a wild card, but Jack's focus remained razor-sharp. Vanessa's plan to gut his finances was about to implode. At 8 p.m., Vanessa stormed through the condo door, her phone clutched tightly. What's this about frozen accounts, Jack? She demanded, voice sharp with panic. He leaned against the kitchen counter, calm. Just protecting what's mine. You filed for divorce, didn't you? Her eyes narrowed, searching for a crack in his composure. But Jack gave her nothing. You think you're clever? She spat. My lawyer's already on it. She spun and left, slamming the door. Jack exhaled, then texted Rachel. She's rattled. Push harder. The next morning, Jack met Ethan at a quiet Boise park, away from prying eyes. Ethan, a rugged construction worker from Portland, carried a no-nonsense vibe that mirrored Jack's own. Mom never told you about me, Ethan said, handing over a DNA report confirming their connection. She passed last year, said you deserve to know the truth. Jack studied the document, his mind split between this revelation and Vanessa's escalating moves. Why now, he asked. Ethan shrugged. Your wife's public stunt. Figured you're in a fight and could use backup. Jack nodded, sensing Ethan's sincerity. Stay close. Things are about to get messy. They parted with a handshake, and Jack drove to Rachel's office. She was waiting with a stack of documents and a grim smile. Vanessa's lawyer just filed for an emergency hearing, she said. They're claiming you had assets, but we've got something better. She slid over a transcript of Tara's drunken call to her office, where Vanessa's sister admitted her sister had been coaching her to lie about Jack's behavior to bolster the divorce case. This is gold, Rachel said. Tara's legal troubles make her a liability. Vanessa's team doesn't know we have this. Jack's pulse quickened. Tara's fraud charges, uncovered by Rachel's investigator, were unraveling Vanessa's strategy. Tara's scared, Rachel continued. She's facing jail time and offered to testify against Vanessa to cut a deal. Says Vanessa planned to exaggerate your income and fake distress claims for a bigger payout. Jack leaned back, processing. When do we use it? Rachel's eyes glinted. At the mediation. Let Vanessa walk in cocky, then we drop the hammer. That afternoon, Jack checked his crypto wallet, $350,000, climbing with Bitcoin's surge. His LLC restructuring was complete, with ownership buried in a trust Vanessa couldn't pierce. The Payette River cabin, now Mia's, was locked in a 15-year use agreement, untouchable by divorce courts. Every step was legal, backdated, and airtight. Vanessa's belief in a multi-million-dollar estate was a mirage, and Jack was about to let her crash into it. His phone buzzed. Mia, back from her college tour. Dad, Mom's been texting me, asking about the cabin. She sounds desperate. Jack's jaw tightened. Tell her it's yours, legally. Nothing else. Mia, hesitated. She's saying you're hiding money. Is that true? Jack paused, choosing his words. I'm protecting us, Mia. Trust me. She agreed, her voice steady, and Jack felt a surge of pride. His daughter was his anchor, and he'd shield her future at all costs. Later, Jack tailed Vanessa's SUV to a downtown Boise wine bar, staying out of sight. Through the window, he saw her with Leo and her influencer crew, laughing as if the frozen accounts were a minor hiccup. Leo whispered something, and Vanessa nodded, her phone out, likely plotting her next move. Jack snapped a photo, time-stamped, and sent it to Rachel. More evidence, he typed. Every post, every public flaunt, was another nail in Vanessa's case. As he drove home, his phone pinged, a voicemail from Tara, her voice slurred. Jack, I messed up. Vanessa made me say things. I didn't mean it. She's gonna kill me for talking to your lawyer. Jack saved the message, forwarding it to Rachel. Tara's unraveling was the final piece. Vanessa's house of cards was collapsing, and the mediation hearing tomorrow would be her reckoning. Jack parked, staring at the stars over Boise. Vanessa thought she was winning. Tomorrow, she'd learn the game was already over. Jack Turner strode into the Boise courthouse, his steps measured, a manila folder tucked under his arm. Rachel Torres walked beside him, her briefcase packed with evidence to dismantle Vanessa's case. The mediation hearing loomed, and Jack knew today would be the turning point. Vanessa's smug Instagram posts, her whispered plans with Leo, her sister Tara's leaks, all converged here. He glanced at his phone, a text from Ethan, his newly found half-brother. Got your back. Let me know how it goes. Jack pocketed the device, steeling himself. Inside the courtroom, Vanessa sat with her lawyer, Leland Moss, her posture rigid, eyes darting. She'd expected an easy win, but the frozen joint accounts had shaken her. Judge Patricia Stone, a veteran with a reputation for cutting through nonsense, took her seat. Let's begin, she said, her voice crisp. Leland stood, presenting Vanessa's demands, 60% of Jack's assets, alimony, and the Payette River cabin. His voice faltered as he mentioned discrepancies in asset valuation. Rachel seized the opening. "Your Honor," Rachel said, sliding a thick binder across the table, "we'd like to clarify those discrepancies." She opened to a page detailing the cabin's transfer to Mia, Jack's daughter, via a trust established 18 months ago. Legal ownership rests with Mia Turner, with a 15-year use clause for Mr. Turner. Mrs. Turner has no claim. Vanessa's face paled, her fingers gripping the table. Leland stammered, "We weren't informed of this transfer." Rachel pressed on, presenting the restructuring of Jack's consulting firm into Cascade Wealth LLC. Mr. Turner is an employee, not an owner. The LLC's assets are held in a trust, predating divorce proceedings. She handed over financial records, each time-stamped well before Vanessa's filing. Judge Stone's eyes narrowed as she reviewed the documents. "And the personal accounts?" she asked. Rachel produced bank statements showing minimal joint funds, with Jack's savings legally moved to a crypto exchange. "All transactions were reported to the IRS," Rachel added. "Mrs. Turner's claims rely on assets that no longer exist in the marital estate." Vanessa leaned toward Leland, whispering frantically, but Jack caught her words. "He can't do this." He could, and he had. Rachel's final blow came with Tara's testimony. Mrs. Turner's sister, Tara Pratt, provided a recorded statement, Rachel said, playing the audio. Tara's slurred voice filled the room. "Vanessa told me to lie, say Jack was cruel, to get more money." The judge's expression hardened. Leland objected, citing Tara's unreliability due to her fraud charges, but Rachel countered with a notarized affidavit from Tara, confirming Vanessa's manipulation. Jack watched Vanessa's confidence crumble, her hands trembling as she realized her sister's betrayal had sealed her fate. "Your Honor," Rachel concluded, "Mrs. Turner's demands are based on fabricated claims and outdated assumptions. The marital estate is limited to her personal vehicle and $35,000 in joint savings." Judge Stone closed the binder. "Mrs. Turner, your evidence is speculative at best. Mr. Turner's actions were legal and preemptive. I'm inclined to rule in his favor." Vanessa's voice broke as she stood. "This isn't fair. He's hiding everything." Judge Stone cut her off. "Sit down, Mrs. Turner. The court deals in facts, not accusations." Leland pulled her back, his face flushed with defeat. Jack remained silent, his calm exterior masking the surge of vindication. The hearing adjourned with a ruling pending, but the outcome was clear. Vanessa's plan had backfired spectacularly. Outside, Jack and Rachel stood in the courthouse parking lot. "She's done," Rachel said, a rare smile breaking through. "The judge will finalize tomorrow. Expect a minimal settlement." Jack nodded, his thoughts shifting to Mia. He called her, catching her between college classes. "Dad, how'd it go?" she asked. "It's handled," he replied. "You're safe, and so's the cabin." Mia's relief was audible, and Jack felt a weight lift. His daughter's future was secure. That evening, Jack met Ethan at a Boise brewery. Ethan raised a beer, to outsmarting the schemers. Jack clinked glasses, grateful for this unexpected ally. Ethan shared stories of his kids, sparking a plan in Jack's mind to bring Mia and Ethan's family together at the cabin. As he drove home, his phone buzzed, a notification from Vanessa's Instagram. Her latest post was gone, her account set to private. Her influencer friends had gone silent, and word spread that Leo had left town. Vanessa's empire was collapsing, and Jack hadn't fired a single shot beyond the law. Jack Turner stood on the deck of the Payette River cabin, the morning sun glinting off the water. The judge's ruling had come through. Vanessa received only her car and $35,000, a fraction of the fortune she'd expected. Jack's strategic moves, trusts, LLCs, crypto transfers, had left her with nothing to claim. His phone buzzed with a message from Rachel Torres. "Finalized. You're free." Jack exhaled, the tension of months dissolving into the crisp Idaho air. He turned to Mia, who was unpacking camping gear with Ethan's kids, Tyler and Lily, nearby. Ethan, his half-brother, was hauling firewood, his presence a quiet anchor after the storm of the divorce. Jack had invited them for the weekend to build something new, family, not assets. "Dad, you're smiling," Mia said, tossing him a fishing rod. "Feels good." Jack replied, joining her by the riverbank. He showed Tyler how to cast, the boy's focus mirroring Jack's own precision. Back in Boise, Vanessa's world was unraveling. Her Instagram, once a showcase of curated triumphs, had gone silent. Her influencer friends, quick to cheer her victory, vanished when her settlement news broke. Leo, her trainer, had skipped town, leaving behind a trail of unpaid gym fees. Jack learned this from Mia, who'd heard it through mutual acquaintances. Vanessa had moved into a modest apartment. Her event planning business stalled without the clout she'd leveraged online. Jack's phone pinged, a voicemail from Tara, Vanessa's sister. "Jack, I'm sorry," she said, her voice steadier than before. "I'm in rehab, court ordered. I told the truth about Vanessa's lies. I hope you're okay." Jack saved the message, not for leverage, but as closure. Tara's fraud charges had forced her to expose Vanessa's scheme, a domino that tipped the case in Jack's favor. He felt no malice, only relief that the truth had surfaced. Later, Jack gathered everyone around a campfire. Ethan's daughter, Lily, roasted marshmallows, giggling as Mia helped her avoid burning them. Ethan leaned in, his voice low, heard Vanessa's trying therapy, facing what she did. Jack nodded, unsurprised. Vanessa's ambition had blinded her, but her downfall was her own making. He'd won not by destroying her, but by protecting what mattered: his daughter, his legacy, his peace. The next morning, Jack drove to Boise for a meeting with his accountant. His crypto portfolio had surged to $400,000, a windfall he'd used to fund Mia's college and start a financial literacy program for local teens. He'd seen too many fall prey to greed, like Vanessa, and wanted to teach better choices. Back at the cabin, he found Ethan teaching Tyler to split wood, their laughter echoing. Mia joined Jack on the deck, her eyes bright. "This feels like home, Dad," she said. He hugged her, the weight of the past year lifting fully. Jack's victory wasn't the courtroom route, though that had been satisfying. It was this: family, old and new, gathered without the shadow of betrayal. Vanessa had sought to dismantle his life, but her actions freed him to build something stronger. He'd protected his assets legally, outmaneuvered her without breaking a single law, and emerged with more than money: purpose. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the river gold, Jack tossed a pebble into the water, watching ripples spread. Some battles were won not by fighting, but by standing firm for what was right.